voting a privilege, a constitutional right. I don't understand people who don't understand and take it for what it is, something that we are supposed to do, something that we must do. When I was a very young child and following my grandfather around on the farm, and he would talk to me about voting. I was 9 or 10 years old, and he would talk to me about voting and say that the only reason that he could vote at that time, we were talking about something in the late 1950s, that the only reason that he could vote was because he owned the land that he worked, and therefore he could vote. But he would go to vote, and from time to time the people there would say, "Oh, you don't need to vote again this year, you were here last year, why don't you go on home, Mr. King?" And he explained to me at 9 or 10 years old that this was wrong. And I understood what he was saying without understanding the importance of being able to vote. The privilege of sitting next to my mother when she was registering people to vote in Augusta, Georgia. The voting rights amendment to the Constitution had not yet come through, but with the hope that it would in the segregated South, there we were registering people to vote. My job was to put in alphabetical order those 3x5 index cards, if you remember that, and put everybody's name sort of in alphabetical order with the last name first. And there were times in this process when my mother would say, you know, go to do something or go and bring me something or something to get me away from the table. And I realized that I was being sent away from the table, but I didn't know why. And many years later, by this time I was in college, and I said to my mother, you know, why did you do that? She said, well, there were people that were registering to vote that could only write their name in script. And at the time, one's signature was meant to be in cursive writing, which of course is hardly even taught in public schools anymore. And so what she would do was to have them to print their name, and while they were standing there, then she would write the name for them so they could register to vote. And then they would be practicing. I mean, it was unbelievable, the community spirit at the time. There was practicing as to how to learn to write, as it were, joined up writing, to write cursively so that you'd be able to sign your own name. With Hillary Clinton's whole history of being concerned about other people, of working towards other people's rights and privileges and things that they would simply need in order to survive. Having started as a young lawyer working for the Children's Defense Fund, when she could have taken a job in some corporate firm and sort of earned lots and lots of money. But rather than doing that, she decided to work for a nonprofit organization. I wonder if they paid her enough to pay her rent. But she was happy to do it. And she's been working in this way ever since. I mean, working in Arkansas to make sure that the schools were simply better, not just for children of privilege, but for everybody. That 8 million children have health insurance because she saw to it that it had to happen. Between now and November 8th, call everybody, you know, don't assume that you're good friends or registered to vote and are planning to vote. Make sure that they are. And challenge them on it when they say, oh, well, I'm not sure. Arrange with them. We need to do the same things now that we did in the 60s. Getting people to come to a center in town or somebody's house and go together to vote. If we don't do that, then we have the opportunity for complete madness in this country. We are better than this. We have to be better than this. We are innately better than this.